Let's jump straight in. So this is how we delivered an additional 50 leads for an asbestos removal company in Auckland, just in the second month. Month 2 results, over 50 leads. We've got some quote results here. Got a $33,000 asbestos removal job, 10 grand asbestos removal job. We've got a ceiling cutout for 5.6, a couple of other small jobs there. So I'm going to show you exactly how we did this. By the way, if you're a trades company or contractor looking to get more leads, asbestos, concrete, roofs, I'm the lead guy. We help guys like you get more leads, build out your pipeline, help you systematize so you can focus on actually running a business, not trying to chase work. Life's a lot easier when you've got leads coming in. But in this video, we'll show you exactly what we did so you can copy whatever you want from it and hope you get some value. So first up, let's look at the results. Here's a quick look. Here's a quick look at one of our dashboards for the client here. So we've got the created time, the type of lead, phone call or website. We've got the name, email, phone number, and the type of job. We've also got the call transcript, so if a call comes in we can see how it went and label the lead as good or not. So yeah, as we can see, this is the second month. We started working together in October. So as soon as we pushed go, we had, what's that, about 10 leads in the first 2 weeks. Over November, things started to pick up quite significantly. We had 51 leads in the second month, and December has been going well as well. So how we do it? Google Ads, high intent keywords, conversion focused landing pages, and a simple CRM. And here's a quick review from the client Josh, who's happy we've helped fill up his pipeline. So yeah, results, 50 leads in the second month. One of those jobs is 7k roof removal, and we looked at some of the other quoted jobs there, over 30k for some of them. So yeah, pretty quick time to market, how we like to work as an agency and how we like to make sure we get our clients leads. And it doesn't matter what kind of service you do, you want to be getting results in quickly. Like SEO can take a bit of time to get things ranked, can take time to get leads, but what we like to do is do a bit of a mix. So get some Google ads running straight away. You can start showing up on Google like instantly when people are looking for asbestos removal. So that's an important part of the initial strategy. And then while that's running, getting leads in, the SEO is slowly working in the background, and then eventually they're both humming, and we should be aiming to have 100 leads a month for this guy around about the 6-month mark. So yeah, with the Google ads, you really want to make sure that you're targeting the high intent keywords. So we'll show you some of these in the next slides. But see, a lot of people running Google ads and just burning money. That's because the keywords aren't dialed in. So when it comes to your keywords, you want to make sure that there's either some sort of high intent, whether that's location like Auckland in this example, or Sydney or London. When somebody types in a service like pest removal or pest control and then they put a location, that means they're looking for someone local, which means it's a high intent keyword. So as you are running your ads, you need to make sure that you've got those solid keywords there. Other ones are things like pest control company or asbestos removal company. If people just type in asbestos, it doesn't necessarily mean they're looking for a company, although there may be. But when you're starting out, you want to make sure that you've got high intent only. So asbestos removal company, asbestos removal specialist, expert, near me, Auckland, your city, your country. Landing page. So once you've got your Google ads sorted, you've got your good keywords, the other half of the equation is going to be a strong landing page. So if people are looking for an asbestos removal company, you've got to think about what they want to see on a landing page, which is where they go when they click your ad. If your page is all about informational stuff like asbestos removal, like how you need to know if you need it, what to do to prevent getting sick from asbestos, that's not really going to resonate with where the customer's at. If they're typing in asbestos removal near me, it means they want someone near them. So at that point of the journey, which is very close towards the end, picking a company, you need to empathize with where they're at in their journey and then reflect that information on your website. So what do you think somebody would want to know if they're picking an asbestos removal company near them? Well, they're probably going to want to see some accreditations, some reviews, maybe how you work, some frequently asked questions like, is it going to impact, am I going to have to leave the house during the service? How much is it going to cost? How quickly can it be done? Is the company that's going to come and do it credible? Is there a guarantee? Is there a health and safety accreditation, something like that? And obviously you want to have that on the page, but you also want to have some call to actions, which is like when you see a big red button. Let's have a quick look at one of our sites here. So off the bat, this is one of our sites. This is one of the sites for the client. You know, the attention goes straight to this blue form, which is all about getting a quote. How much is it going to cost? These people are already ready. They already know they need someone to do their removal. So let's give them a price. We've got some blue up here for inquire now. We've got a phone number. We've got some reviews down here. We've got some of the industry accreditations. So when the customer comes to this page, they're seeing everything that they need to go, yeah, these guys are probably going to be able to sort this out. They're not going to read 2,000 words of asbestos removal content. But we want to have that there for SEO reasons, because the more content we've got to a degree, the more Google's going to think that we're an expert, and it's going to push us up in the rankings, which we'll show you in a sec. So let's quickly touch on the Google ads. So this is how we got the leads in pretty much overnight for these guys. So like we talked about before, we want to have high intent keywords, and we're only using exact and phrase match. So exact means, so these are phrase match, these quote marks. That means if the search that the person types in contains what we've put in those brackets, or the meaning is the same, then we're going to show in the ad. So it's a bit more forgiving. Whereas exact match is when you put a square bracket on each side of the keyword, and that our ad will only show if the person types in exactly what's in that keyword. So it's very tight. There's not much room to open up the targeting, which can be good and bad. When you're starting out, I recommend just using a phrase match, because that way you're going to have a bit of control, but there's going to be some room for random searches like asbestos removal company near me with accreditation, for example. You'll still show up because you've got phrase match, not exact match. So if you had exact match, you wouldn't show for that, even though it's a good keyword. Negatives, so these keywords are what we can put at the campaign so that ads don't show up. For example, asbestos, if we had asbestos removal company in phrase match, but then the person types in asbestos removal training company, we would show up, but we don't want to. We want to put in negatives to make our budget efficient early. So you can put in things like jobs, training, DIY, certifications, how to. If you're in New Zealand, you might want to remove MITRE 10 or anywhere that you'd get materials related to the niche, like asbestos removal. Like asbestos removal warehouse could be a negative keyword, for example, if you know that people go to those places. A lot easier for deck builders, for example, because most people get their decking material from like MITRE 10 or Bunnings, so you want to be removing that, because you're not going to be targeting homeowners if you're doing materials, or if you're showing up when people are searching MITRE 10. It's not high intent, it's low intent. Okay, ad structure. So what we do is we just grouped the different asbestos sub niches, removal, encapsulation, testing, and roofs into different ad groups. That way, when we show up, we're kind of matching what people are searching for. Depending on how big your city is, you probably may not want to do single theme ad groups, because you're going to be too granular with your approach. In a smaller city, you don't have the luxury of there being lots of different searches and lots of populations. Whereas Auckland, this is about a 1.4 million population, and we saw that there was lots of people searching for some of the sub niches. So in that case, it makes sense to split them out a bit more. Whereas if you're in a population under, I'd say, 200,000, you just want to go with your main service, which in this case is asbestos removal. Asbestos encapsulation is a sub niche. Asbestos testing, sub niche. Asbestos roof removal, sub niche. Okay, the more granular you can be to a degree, the more the search term like asbestos encapsulation is going to match your ad copy, and it's going to match your landing page. And then the user is going to see everything that they've searched. When they type it in, they're going to see the ad, they're going to see the landing page, and it's all going to be nice and seamless. You know, when you click on an ad and it takes you somewhere that you didn't expect, and in your head you're like, nah, this is the wrong place, and you just bounce straight away. We don't want that. We want everything to be nice and smooth, guide the user all the way to filling out the inquiry form. Okay, extensions, pretty straightforward with Google Ads. You want to be adding a call extension, site links, location, which is your Google map if you have one, and then call outs. Call outs can be like best company in the area, accredited team, stuff like that. Some of your points of difference, make sure to put them in there. Make sure you've got your conversions set up. So if you're using Google Analytics, that's always a good one. Google Tag Manager. Can do another video on that one, but if you're not tracking your conversions, then that's a big no-no. So you want to make sure that's done, but that's another video. Budget, bidding, and timing. We always start with maximize clicks with a decent CPC, which is your cost per click limit. Once we've got some data, some conversion data, which is why you need this one, then we usually move to max conversions. We always move to max conversions and then move to target CPA once we've got more conversion data. But start with max clicks, make sure your keywords are tight. That's going to give you 80% of your results. Ad schedule, we just go all day, and then we put about 3 to 5 keywords per ad group. If we're doing a small city, we'd probably put more because we're not splitting out our ad structures. It's all just asbestos removal for the city. And then every week you want to be checking your search terms report, looking through what shows up. So the search term report shows you what ads that you showed up for, what searches you showed up for. And if you see anything that's off, like Mitre 10 or Bunnings, you want to be removing those. So yeah, quick touching on the landing page. Above the fold, you want to have everything the person needs to know about your business for them to make an inquiry. So we've got the calls to action, the big form, we've got the phone number, we've got the Google reviews, got the accreditations, got some copy that resonates with people. You know, at Asbestos Removal Auckland, we provide trusted professional asbestos removal to protect your home, business and health. You know, fully licensed team, etc. All the boxes are ticked. Trust and compliance, ticked. Content and UX, ticked. We've got lots of different landing pages for different sub niches, so that our SEO results are going to ramp up slowly. Locations, we've got sub locations. Auckland's a fairly big city, so we did see in Google Search Console searches for some of these smaller cities, so we've got landing pages ready for those. Now, performance and tracking. If you're using WordPress, then there's plugins you can upload to make sure your website loads quick. You want to be under 2 seconds ideally. Event tracking, we talked about that. That goes back to your Google Analytics. And then you want to be tracking when people fill out a form or click on a phone button. Okay, one of the important parts, obviously getting the leads is great, but the second half of the problem is actually converting it. And if you are going from referrals and word of mouth to Google Ads or Facebook leads, you're going to be competing with other companies. You don't have the luxury of that person, the referral, contacting you because Steve recommended you, and it's a lot easier to close those leads. The problem with those leads is you can't control the volume, therefore you can't systematize, hire staff and actually run a business. You're just running around hoping that the next job comes in. I've done it myself and it's not fun. But the downside is you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be organized, and you've got to be on these leads, especially if you're paying for them. You need to be treating them with respect. So speed to leads key. You want to be calling within 5 minutes. I'll put 60 seconds here, but 5 to 10 minutes to be honest. You want to be touching base, qualifying the lead, seeing where they're at, and then booking a site visit ideally. You're not going to get a hold of every lead off the bat, so you want to have a bit of a plan here. Day 1, couple calls, couple SMSs and an email. Day 2, more follow-ups. Day 4 to 7, you just want to keep following up until you actually get a hold of them. CRM, important to get a CRM going where you can track the stages of the leads, like we showed at the top here. Quote sent, that's just one of the stages that we've got in this client's CRM. We've got new lead, uncontacted, so those leads that we haven't contacted yet or haven't got back to us. Next up, we've got waiting for requirements. So sometimes the client might send requirements back. We need to get those to get a better idea of the project. In this case, we're just going straight to qualify into booking an inspection. So, hey, we can help you with that asbestos roof removal. Then we move the person into the inspection bucket. And then each day we can see how many people we're needing to book for an inspection. And then we send out the quote, and we've either won or lost. And it's a numbers game. So, if you're winning 30% of your quotes, then that's kind of standard. If you're competing with 2 to 3 other companies, which is how many other companies these types of leads might hit up to get the best deal, the best company, then that's a decent amount. You've got to be fast. You've got to be pushing these people down the pipeline quickly, because when they inquire, that's when they're the most hot. And then nurture strategy. You know, if a lot of these people, they might not be ready for work straight away, especially if you're working with stuff like testing, for example. People don't need a test straight away. They're thinking about it. Maybe I should get a test. You know, so you do want to give them a nurture, because people get busy, and if you can hit them up again, they might say, "Oh, hey, thanks for following up. We forgot about that. We really want to get that over the line." If you make it easy for them, then you're going to win the work. So a quick look at the SEO side. Month 2, we're already on page 1 for Asbestos Removal Auckland. So here we go. Here, last 24 hours for this website. Asbestos Removal Auckland, we're position 3. Asbestos encapsulation, we're on page 2. Pretty quick. Again, just wanting to have the keywords in the right place in your H1, H2. Lots of information on the page. We've got heaps of service pages, heaps of blogs, and that's all pumping us up pretty quickly. So we'll eventually get this all to number 1, and we're just going to be adding new backlinks, new blogs, new landing pages, making sure we build topical authority so Google thinks we're the best in the area for when people are looking for asbestos removal. So if you're an asbestos company looking to get more leads, you want to get some similar results like this, 50 leads in the second month, drop us a message on Instagram, give me an email at mike@theleadguy, or you can check out our website, theleadguy.online. What we can do is we can check in your area how many people are searching for asbestos removal. We can set up some quick ads, get you a couple of leads on a guaranteed trial basis, and if it goes well like this guy, then we should be smooth sailing. We can catch up together about working together on an ongoing basis. But cheers for watching, hope you got some value from it, and we'll see you in the next one.